You know that moment when you just want to grab a quick, healthy snack? Maybe a handful of mixed nuts. Well, we're going to talk about why you might want to take a closer look at that container before you dig in.
So that's the big question, right? Is your favorite snack actually safe? It's at the heart of a recent public safety announcement that we're going to break down right now.
So here's what happened. On December 5th, 2025, a company called Mellace Family Brands announced a voluntary recall for a couple of different sizes of Wegmans mixed nuts. And they did it because of a potential and pretty serious health risk.
Okay, so what exactly are we talking about here? Which product is it and what's the big deal? Let's get into the specifics of what actually triggered this whole thing.
The recall is super specific. It's laser-focused on just one product, the Deluxe Mixed Nuts Unsalted. So, if you've got other kinds of Wegmans nuts in your pantry, you can relax. They are not part of this.
The potential problem here, the reason for the recall, is Salmonella. And this is a nasty little organism. It can cause really serious and sometimes even fatal infections. It's especially dangerous for young kids, the elderly, and really anyone with a weakened immune system.
And look, even if you're in perfect health, you do not want to mess with Salmonella. We're talking fever, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting. I mean, it is just a completely miserable experience that you want to avoid at all costs. All right, this is probably the most important part. How do you actually check if the nuts sitting in your pantry are the ones we're talking about? Let's walk through this step by step.
Okay, you might want to pause here because this slide has everything you need. Go grab your container of Wegmans Deluxe Mixed Nuts Unsalted. You're looking for an exact match on 3 different things: the UPC code, the lot code, and that Best By date. So if you have that big 34-ounce plastic tub, just turn it to the side. You'll find all the codes you're looking for printed right there, just above the nutrition facts.
And if you bought the smaller 11.5-ounce bag, just flip it over to the back. The lot code and the Best By date should be right there just below the nutrition information.
Now, this wasn't just a small, local issue. These nuts were sold at Wegmans stores all up and down the East Coast. We're talking 10 different states, plus Washington, D.C.
The timing here is also really specific. So think back, if you bought these nuts, it would have been sometime between November 3rd and December 1st of 2025.
So, what happens if you checked your container and yep, it's a match? Well, the good news is what you need to do next is super simple. The instructions couldn't be clearer. First thing, and this is obvious, stop eating the nuts right away. Just put them down. Second, take the product back to the service desk at any Wegmans store. And third, you will get a full refund for what you paid. And hey, if you have any questions about any of this, Wegmans has set up a number you can call. It's 1-855-934-3663. And they're available from 8 in the morning to 7 at night Eastern Time.
You might be wondering, how did they even find this out in the first place?
And the story is actually a really great example of how our food safety systems are supposed to work.
So here's the best part of this whole thing. The problem was caught before anyone got sick. This wasn't a reaction. What happened was a supplier was doing routine testing on its raw ingredients, and a batch of pistachios came back positive for Salmonella. From there, they figured out exactly where those pistachios ended up, and they pulled the product immediately.
And that brings us to the most important number in this entire story, 0. As of today, there have been 0 reported illnesses linked to this. It's a perfect example of the safety system working exactly the way it's designed to, catching a potential problem before it becomes a real one.
Ultimately, this whole situation is a pretty powerful reminder about that invisible safety net that's there for our food supply. And it kind of leaves us with a question to think about. How often do you check for recalls on the things in your own home? Thanks for tuning in.